Extra, extra, read all about it. The greatest depression our nation ever experienced began in October of 1929, when stock markets crashed. Unemployment was high among minorities and young people. 6 million young people were unemployed or out of school from 1933 to 1935. Schools were closed or school years were shortened, especially in the South and Southwest. By early 1934, 20,000 schools were closed. Schools could no longer pay teachers, so they provided promissory notes. Enrollments of higher education declined by 40% beginning in 1933 with the creation of Civilization Conservation Corps and National Youth Administration were established under President Roosevelt's New Deal. The Indian New Deal attempted to remedy conditions. The Bureau of Indian Affairs, or the BIA, gave rights to contract with the states for educational services and the ending of the boarding system. The Act of 1934 provided supplemental funds to public schools for the special costs to run the school. Native American CCC programs enrolled around 85,000 Native Americans.
In 1932, Convention of the PEA and Dare Progressive Education Be Progressive, George S. Counts challenged the child-focused doctrine and urged educators to face squarely and courageously every social issue, fashion a compelling and challenging vision of human destiny. Counts encouraged schools to take responsibility for the developing of an intelligent reconstructioning of society and foothold for educational foundations. Counts was joined by William H. Kilpatrick and Harold Rugg, who came together with other social reformers in 1935 to form John Dewey Society for the Study of Education and Culture and start a journal. The social frontier focused on extremism during the 1930s. Social Reconstructionist movement forever connected education to social protest. William Bagley, educational theory of essentialism supporter, deemed the educational system as weak, lacking rigor, and inadequate for democratic society.
As the war with Nazi Germany spread through Europe, there was an increase on demand for factories to supply the Allied war effort. The American economy began to recover from the Great Depression. Many teachers left the classroom for the battlefield, and women left for higher-paying industry jobs. More than one-third of the teachers employed from 1940 to 1941 had left teaching. Enrollment dropped as the youth enlisted or sought work. High school enrollment declined from 6.7 million in 1941 to 5.5 million in 1944. The Lanham Act of 1941 to school districts overburdened by an influx of children from families employed in defense industries or on military bases. College and universities cut almost one-half from 1940 to 1944. Colleges played a vital role in preparing men for military. By the end of 1943, 380,000 were involved in specialized training in 439 colleges and universities.
The GI Bill of Rights provided benefits to 7.8 million veterans of World War II to help them further their education. Between 1949 and 1959, higher education enrollments increased by 35%. Arthur Bester, in his study Educational Wastelands, he deplored the anti-intellectual quality of American schools, which he argued had been caused by progressive education. He advocated rigorous curriculum of well-defined subject matter. Progressive education was hurt by its identification with an educational program known as Life Adjustment Education, progressive education, and because it was no longer relevant to the time. American education continued until 1957 when the Soviet Union launched Sputnik. Maria Montessori had been presented before World War I, but was not until the 1950s that it led to the establishment of hundreds of Montessori schools. Head Start programs adopted the Montessori approach. Montessori shared with Froebel a belief that children possessed an interior spiritual force that stimulated their self-activity. The role of the Montessori teacher is to be aware of the child's readiness to learn.